This is working? Wonderful. Thank you again. It's a great pleasure to be here. And Deborah, thank you. Is that better? Good. For hosting this award ceremony every single year. Now, I know that I stand between you and a fine Indian dinner, as well as the main program, and I recognize that the role of a speaker in these circumstances is to stand up to be seen, speak up to be heard, and sit down to be appreciated. But I do want to extend my congratulations to the business firms that are being recognized for their global business success tonight. And I certainly want to salute Kevin Plank, the CEO and founder of Under Armour, and a proud graduate of the University of Maryland, 1966. By the way, how many of you are graduates of the University of Maryland or have family members who graduate from the University of Maryland? All right, that's about 20%. For the rest of you, I will exercise my prerogative as president to bestow upon you the title of honorary terms for tonight. From a visit to Israel and Jordan with the governor's delegation last week. And in Israel, I had the opportunity to sit down and talk with President Shimon Peres, who, as you know, got the Nobel Peace Prize for this year in working on the Oslo Accords. And I asked him, what would it take to bring peace in this region? He had just come back from Nazareth from inaugurating a new innovation incubator, and he said, build 1,000 innovation incubators because the future for young people lies in economic development and new jobs. That is what gives them faith in the future. 2 years ago, I went with the governor to China, last year to India. And the same thing. Israel may be known as a startup nation. But because they bring together government policy to support education and innovation, they bring together universities that commercialize the results, and they bring together the private sector. And we saw the same thing in India, a country that is creating 1,000 new universities over the next 10 years. In China, 800 new universities have been created in the past 15 years, massive research parks for the commercialization of research. You know, it was only 25 years ago that hundreds of millions of people in those countries were barely scraping by with the basic necessities. And today, they've joined the middle class, they're splurging on consumer goods, and they're sending their kids to get the best education possible in the world, which is in the United States. So what does that tell us? What that tells us is, when I came to this country in the mid-60s, we were #1 in the world in terms of college graduates. I think the rest of the country, the rest of the world has caught up. We are now ranked 14th in the world in terms of college graduates. We rank 27th in the world in the production of scientists and engineers. And as you know, 1/2 of all of our economic growth since World War II is due to innovations in science and engineering. And before this decade is over, most of the scientists and engineers, most of them, will be living in Asia. More in Asia than in the rest of the planet combined. So we have an education to prepare our students to live in that world, because their fellow co-workers will come not just from Baltimore and Boston, but from Bangalore and Beijing. Their bosses may reside not only in New York, but in New Delhi. And their biggest consumers might be found not only in Chicago, but also in Cairo. What should the University of Maryland do, the flagship institution, to clone the next generation of Kevin Planks? We are doing 2 things. Number 1, to create a globally networked university by going abroad, forming regular and established exchanges whereby students come to College Park and we send our students abroad. And secondly, by emphasizing innovation and entrepreneurship, to tell our students that innovation is the future, entrepreneurship is our culture, and globalization is the new world order. What that means is our goal is nothing less than the exposure of all 37,000 students to innovation and entrepreneurship at University of Maryland. In terms of courses, in terms of hands-on experience, and our faculty to be involved in close collaboration with our colleagues at University of Maryland, Baltimore, to commercialize our research. We create 5 to 6 new companies a year. With our partnership with University of Maryland, Baltimore, we expect to double that number in the next 3 to 4 years. But let me just give you 2 small examples of what our students are doing. One of my favorite examples is the Food Recovery Network. This junior student had this simple idea. Why are we throwing away so much food that is unused from the dormitories, the cafeterias, from Byrd Stadium and Comcast? So he assembled a group of students, he taught them the public health laws, and so they go and collect all the unused food and take it to shelters in Washington, D.C. They provide 35,000 meals a year. But not only that, he has now established the Food Recovery Network in 10 other universities. His goal is to establish that organization, this not-for-profit, in every single college in the United States. And if he does that, he says we can take care of the problem of insufficient food in this entire country. And another favorite example of how we're collaborating and commercializing our research with the University of Maryland, Baltimore, we have the surgeon who is trying to find a way of how to operate in a very delicate part of the brain. So he gets together with our engineers, asks our engineers to devise a robot, a tiny little robot that can be sent to the brain, and the robot does the surgery. They've now received a $2 million grant. They hope to patent this invention and, of course, create a new company as a result. That is what the future holds. And let me just conclude by saying this. Innovation and entrepreneurship is not just knowledge and skills. It is an attitude. It is a state of mind. It's a passion for innovation and for making a difference. The terp attitude is the innovation attitude. You know what terpenes are? They're that special creature that lives only in the Chesapeake Bay. And it has this wonderful characteristic. The turtle can only move forward. It can't go backwards. And how does that turtle move forward? By sticking its neck out. We terps stick our necks out. We encourage our students to think big, to aim high, to take risks, to persevere, to never give up, never give in. Because that way, we will help them win the future for our university, our state, and our nation. Thank you very much.